Hey guys, so in today's video I recorded the process of how I drew Violet Baudelaire from a series of unfortunate events, and this drawing is inspired by the original illustrations by Brett Helquist from the series, and it was really fun to do because I loved drawing on toned paper. And all the supplies that I used will be listed down in the description as well as where you can get them. So today I wanted to talk about how to motivate yourself to draw, and I've got this question a lot on my social media, and I think it would be interesting to let you know my take on this. And this is just from my experience, how I think about the subject and how I motivate myself to draw, so that's my little disclaimer, of course. And so I know that whenever you have a normal life, you go to work or school or both, and then you try to have a social life as well, have friends, interact with family, and just in general, it's hard to focus a lot of your time on art because we're so busy. Nowadays we have so many things going on, and art itself sometimes can be kind of a chore. I can admit that it does take a lot of time and dedication and brain power, and sometimes I know it's just not fun to think about yourself sitting down and drawing and it taking up time. So the first tip that I have is to allot some time during your day to draw. So this would be kind of like, put it into your schedule. It doesn't have to be every day, so it could be maybe 2 or 3 times a week where you give yourself an hour or two, maybe in the evenings, when you make sure you don't have any distractions. So if you have schoolwork to do, just make sure you get it done ahead of time. If you want to hang out with friends, plan that event around your scheduled allotted time for your art, so that when you're sitting down and doing art, you don't feel guilty for not hanging out or doing schoolwork, and so that you can actually just sit there and be focused on what you're doing. Your attention isn't drawn someplace else, because that can affect your artwork negatively. So the next thing that I would say is, in that allotted time, make sure that where you're drawing, the whole environment feels comfortable and happy, and you feel warm and you want to be there. So what I'll do is I'll just maybe light a couple of candles. I'll make sure that my environment is pretty neat or organized or in the right position, so I can grab everything comfortably. I turn on Netflix and watch The Office or Friends, or I just listen to music that I like or an audiobook, and I make sure that my environment is someplace I want to be. And it's really great when you just have like candles and you have nice music or a TV show you like. It really makes it enjoyable to sit there. Also, where are you going to be sitting? So if it's in bed or if it's on a comfy couch or a chair, just make sure that you're comfortable where you are. Another tip which I have, which is kind of hypocritical because I don't do, because I hate people, but you could call up an art friend that you have, or just a good friend. It doesn't really matter, but maybe you have an art friend that you talk about art and you do art with, and you can talk with them while both of you are drawing. And I guess that's kind of fun. I don't really have art friends in real life. I'm such a sad human, I'm shedding tears right now. But if you do have an art friend who would like to spend the time talking to you and drawing as well on the phone, or you can ring them up and have them come over, it can be fun, I think. I don't know, I'm not sure. I don't know why I'm giving this advice, because I do not like people. So yeah, I can't vouch for that advice, but I've heard it can be fun. The next thing I would say that you should do is set goals. If you have goals on what you would like to improve on, or what you would like to draw, or you have a list of things that you'd want to draw or get done, or projects that you want to do, like make a zine or make YouTube videos. Having goals also that are reachable is a great way to keep motivated, because you can always look at that little list, check things off when you complete them, and of course checking off boxes on to-do lists is the best thing ever. We have to all agree on that. And so goals are always a good idea. If you reach those goals, the next thing that you could do that would motivate you to draw more would be to reward yourself. And now it depends on how you like to reward yourself. For me, buying art supplies, of course. If I do something that I am happy with, if I reach a goal or my month has been good, I will reward myself by buying myself some extra art supplies that I wanted to experiment with and I know will be fun to use. And that can be very fun to do. I mean, if you don't like buying art supplies, that's fine. Get yourself no idea. Just reward yourself with something tiny that you don't really have a reason to buy, but you did because now it's a reward for an art goal that you accomplished. The next thing that I noticed, which is kind of vital to how productive you are and how much of an enjoyable experience you have while drawing, is make sure you're using supplies that fit you properly. So make sure, for one, that you're comfortable with whatever medium you're in. I mean, I understand, of course, every medium you have to learn new facets of it and stuff, but sometimes in one certain medium you just don't enjoy it at all. You know, you're not comfortable doing it. So if you would like to motivate yourself, just don't work with mediums that you don't like, that you hate, you're not good with, they just frustrate you, you know? And just try to use mediums that make you feel happy or you can experiment with and you don't really feel pressured in a bad way. Also, I understand, you know, we all have different budgets and stuff, but sometimes a certain quality, like a lower quality of art supply, will frustrate you greatly when you're trying to draw, you know? And sometimes it is worth to invest in artist quality materials. And don't worry, it's not a huge deal to just have artist quality materials. Sometimes it is overrated to buy just the top of the line of all art supplies. Like, I understand some art supplies that are less expensive are just as good, and I don't really use the greatest art supplies ever. It's just make sure that the ones you buy are the satisfactory quality for you. Sometimes it is worth spending a couple more dollars on an art supply that will make you feel happier, and it'll be way easier to use and it won't be like a hassle. You know, when you do art, it should be about your techniques, not the supplies that you're using that are weighing you down. The next thing I would say is take a break when you see that it's just not working for you. And I know that kind of goes against the how to motivate yourself to draw, because you're not going to be drawing. But understand that it is okay to take breaks. Like, nobody said that if you're an artist, you have to draw 24/7 and that's what your whole life should be, and you can't not draw every second of your life. Sometimes your hand will feel like lead and nothing will come out well and it's not going to be fun, but that's okay. It happens to everybody, and it's not a huge deal if you take a break once in a while and make sure that you don't feel sick of drawing, you know? Sometimes if I just keep doing it in a certain day, like I try to mass produce art, it does not really work and I have to take a break, and it's okay. Just like everything, you have good days and bad days, and just because you have a bad day doesn't mean that you have to force yourself through that. It depends. Some people, like for me, recently I've been forcing myself through bad days with drawing and just trying out different supplies and different techniques and mediums and all that, and I try to get myself through rough patches so I don't take so many breaks. But if I see that I'm doing everything I can and it's just not working out, I won't feel bad about taking a break because it's okay. And then 2 more things that I think you should do would be share your art with people. It could be family or friends or people online. You can post it online or just make online friends. And just surround yourself with people who are kind of supportive of your art. It doesn't all have to be about your art, of course, but if there's people who like your art and encourage you to do it, it'll motivate you to do it more. You'll feel like it has some value and people want to see it. Of course, it doesn't mean just because you don't get validation for your art that you should stop doing it, but it is encouraging to have friends who truly do like your art and want you to continue doing it. Even people online, it helps tremendously. Since having my social media, it just encourages me to draw and post as close to daily as possible and keep art coming in, because if I know people want to see my art, I know that I should keep making it and showing it to people, you know? And the last tip I have, which is kind of a weird thing to be putting under how to motivate yourself, would be to have patience when you're doing this, because especially when you're beginning and you're not used to sitting there for hours and hours drawing and using supplies you're not comfortable with, and you don't feel like you have control over anatomy or lighting or your techniques, it's okay if you don't feel motivated to do it or you just feel overwhelmed, because everybody feels like that. I did, and I still feel that way with a lot of things. When you're just starting out, take it slowly. Don't worry about not making the best piece ever or feeling kind of insecure with the supplies you're using, because everything has a learning curve. Just the thing is with art, every single supply, you have to learn how to use it effectively. You also have to learn the techniques individually, how to use them, and also you have to master kind of proportions or lighting, all the basics of art. You kind of have to master that, and so it's like so many little things that can go wrong. So if your drawing doesn't turn out exactly how you want it to, it's okay, because it happens to everybody. Of course, it would be amazing if you could just from the beginning get something to look like a masterpiece. Even failed work, you learn from it and you learn what to do or not to do next time. So every drawing you make, even if it's a failure, can be an improvement, and it adds to the knowledge that you have about art and how to do it and all that. And I guess having patience would help you to understand that it will take some time to be okay with sitting there for hours and hours working on a drawing or a painting. And it's also like if you were doing gymnastics or stretching or, working out or something, you have to work little by little. So if you don't draw very frequently and then you sit down and you want to draw for 5 hours, it's not going to go very well because it's just overwhelming. If you start drawing one day for about 15 minutes and the next day about the same, and then the next day you bump it up to 30 minutes, you can kind of just stretch the amount of time you can go on drawing and feeling good about that. Before, when I was starting digital painting, I didn't want to spend more than like 2 hours on a painting, and I thought that was crazy to spend that much time. And then I would see people online who were spending like 20, 30, 40 hours on a painting, and my brain was exploding. I didn't know how they did it. It's just, it takes time and patience to realize that endurance is built up over time. So don't feel discouraged if at the point you are right now, you feel like you're not as good as your favorite artists, or that you will never be like them, because everybody has been there, It's not like anybody was born being at the art level they are at. Artists that you look up to and who you think are awesome have been at the exact same place you have been right now. And, you don't have to worry about that. The reason they are where they are is because they stuck through it and they kept doing what they were doing. And so if you keep working at it and you like doing it and it's your passion, you will in the end get to a level where you are pretty pleased with your art. I mean, of course, it doesn't mean that you don't have to improve anymore, but you'll start to really like the results you get and start to be able to put your ideas down on paper or digital or something. Those are a couple of my tips to motivate yourself. I hope they were helpful. I don't know. This is what I do to motivate myself and how I kind of think about the whole subject. So I hope you maybe learned a tiny bit. Maybe this will help somebody. By the way, this drawing took me around 30-ish minutes, I think. It was really fun. I love the series of unfortunate events. You definitely should watch the TV show. First read the books and then watch the show. I'm so happy that the second and the third season have been confirmed. And I can't wait for them to come out. They need to come out already. Oh, I'm so excited. Also, if you want to check out any of my original drawings or prints, they will be down below. There's going to be a link to my shop in my description. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up because I would greatly appreciate that. And subscribe if you'd like to see more videos because I put them out mostly every single Sunday. Okay, I will talk to you guys next week. Bye!